Okay, so really quickly taking up this linear relation worksheet. We have 3x minus 2 as the equation. When we substitute x as negative 2 in here, what's 3 times negative 2? Negative 6 minus 2? Negative 8. So remember in the table of value, these are coordinates. So negative 2, negative 8, you have this point right here. When I sub in negative 1, 3 times negative 1? Negative 3 minus 2? Negative 5. So my second line, negative 1, negative 5, which is over here. How many points do I need to make a line? How many points do I need to connect a line? Ethan? 2, right. So all I need is 2 points, which I got. So I can actually make my line already, okay? But if I just based on these 2 points, my line is not going to be very accurate. So if I continue on with the table to get a few more points, I get negative 2 here, I get 1, and then when I sub in 2 in there, I get 4. So giving me a few more points to work with. This 1 and 1, 2 and 4, I get 5 points where I can draw my line and make it accurate. Okay, will this mark give me full marks? What am I missing on it? Yep, arrows. How do I know it goes on forever? It's a linear equation, and this line right here tells me that it goes on forever. My line doesn't stop. I never restricted it, so it goes on forever. So I should have the arrows at the end. Do you see a pattern in the y values? What's my pattern? Adding 3 every time. Right, so it's adding 3, adding 3, adding 3. So remember on Tuesday, what I said was there's 3 different ways to tell that it's a linear relation. 1, the points all line up to be on a straight line. And then 2, the pattern in your table of value, the difference should be the same in every step. And then 3, the equation is in the form y equals mx plus b. So all 3 should go in line with each other. If one of them, let's say one of your points is like over here, you know you did something wrong. Okay. Number 2 right here. What's wrong with the table again? What's wrong with my table? Yep. There's nothing. There's no numbers. So what can I do? Sorry? Yeah, x could be anything. So I could simply just swallow this and do negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 as my x value, and then sub it in as is like this. So this will give me, when I sub this, no, I made a mistake, didn't I? 9. I mean, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2, plus 5 is 7. And then 5. If I do my math correctly, what should these two numbers be? Yep. 3 and 1. How did you do that algebra so quickly? It's subtracting by 2. Again, every step, it should be the same. So another way for you to make sure your math is correct. When I plot this, negative 2 and 9, negative 1 and 7, 0, 5, on the axis, 1 and 3, 2 and 1, all these points should form a line, and okay, it should all fit on the line perfectly. Even if it's a little off, it shouldn't. Okay, these two. So, what easiest number in the world? 0, right? So let's say I did 0, negative 1, 0, and 2. What I'm saying is no matter what x is, my y is just going to be negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So when y is always negative 2, Okay, it's always -2. Doesn't matter what I make it. What type of line do I get? Vertical or horizontal? Y equal. Sarah? Horizontal. Horizontal. That's right. So horizontal line at -2 and like that. Okay. What about then x equal? So this time I'm saying no matter what y value is, okay, x is always just going to be -5. -5, -5, -5. So -5, 0, and -5, 1, -5, 2, -5, 9, okay? And all those points will line up to give me what type of line? Yep, vertical. That's right. So remember, when you have an equation that have x and y, it's a diagonal line. And then when you have a y equals a number line, it's horizontal. And then x equal vertical. Okay, nice and easy, straightforward. Last one right here. Okay, given the graph, complete the table and try to come up with an equation. So I can read off this point to be -6 and 4. -6 and 4. This point is -4 and 0. This point, -2 and -4. This point is at 0, -8. Can you tell me one more point on this line? Yep. 2, -12. What did you do? From the x, it's always -2 each time. Yep. And y is always the check. Perfect. Okay. And so if I were to plot this to -12, it would come around like right here. Okay. Similarly, I could have did the other side and did -8 and 8, which is over here. Okay. So remember your points, any other point, it could be on either side of that line. Now this one right here, as I said, this is the tricky question. Who can come up with the equation? Okay, Ethan, what is my equation? It's -2x minus 8. -2x minus 8. Say that again? Y equal, because equation, I don't want expression, I want equation, so that means you have to have a something equal, okay, to make it an equation. So yes, y equals mx plus b. Now remember the b is the starting value. So looking at my graph, my starting value is when x is 0. So what's that value right there? It's -8. It starts off at there. Okay, so it's also called your y-intercept. We're going to get into this much more in chapter 6, but I just wanted to give you a quick peek at what we're going to be learning in chapter 6. So y equals mx plus b form. Okay, b is your starting value, y-intercept. So in this case, my y-intercept is then -8. So that's why it's -8. The m is your slope. Again, this is what we're gonna go where we're gonna introduce ourselves to on Wednesday. But the slope is basically what's the difference between each point. All right. Why is it -2 and not -4? Because right here, I thought my pattern was -4 for everything. Why is it -2 and not -4? Based on my table. Melody? Right, that's right. So if you take a look at my x value, I'm skipping every 2. So what do I have to do? -4 divided by 2, and that will give me the -2. So, and Again, that's because my pattern in X is skipping every other one. Okay. So the difference between each of the points is -2. So you see if I put in an extra point in between like this, you can see that it's actually just going down by 2 boxes each time. Okay, very good. So as I said, in chapter 6, we'll do more of coming up with the equation. For Tuesday's assignment, the class assignment that you're gonna do, definitely you need to know how to graph. Okay, that's the main thing on the assignment. Nothing that you really need to study for because it's an open book group activity. So it's just meant to help you boost up your marks.